Hey, okay. Hey, wonderful people. What microphone am I? Oh, here we go. Okay, so let's see. Let's change a few things. Oh, okay, hold on 1 second here. So, wonderful people, this is a video I'm making on Sunday to make up for the video I didn't make yesterday for my class because yesterday my friend had his birthday and then I lost track of time and I just totally forgot. And I'm human and I'm human. So there you go. So if you're watching this video, first of all, I'm going to setting up the camera operation here. So if you're watching this video, hello, boom. If you're watching this video, hello. And I guess I could sit and do this today. And welcome to, I believe this is the third week. Am I right or wrong? Yes, no? I believe this is the third week of, yeah. No. Let me, 1 second here. Let me think here. Last week was week 2 of, Emotions for Dummies. So yesterday I would have done, well, at either rate, does it really matter? I can kind of do what I want here. So welcome, and this is Emotions for Dummies, and I am the host of Emotions for Dummies, Dr. Donnie, and you are in, this is, I believe, I thought was week 3 of our advanced class, and week 3 of our advanced class is on grief, healing from grief. And so it's possible that today, I believe the video I did last week was on shame, and that's week 2. Okay. So at either rate, I think today is grief. I feel like doing grief today, and that's what I had planned to do. So we're going to do that. So if you're watching this video, welcome. And this video is for anyone who's having a hard time processing their thoughts and feelings. I am the author of a workbook called The Book of You. The Book of You. It's a whole series of exercises that I put together to help people with their difficult thoughts and feelings. Let me pull it up for you here. And if you come to class, I will hand you this workbook, or I'll post it in the email I send everybody if you're on the meetup page as well. So that way you can get the workbook since I wasn't here. Excuse me, since I wasn't here. As you can see, it's a wonderful resource. I'm going to go to the table of contents here. It's a wonderful resource for getting in touch with your inner life. There's a whole bunch of material here. The first part is all about just getting in touch with feelings and questioning your beliefs. And then the second part, which is what these classes are based on, it's all about inner child work. Okay. So today's class, we're going to look at grief and recovery. Grief and recovery. Okay, so when I start class, normally I always like to ask people, how are you doing today? How are you doing today? So, so I'm going to ask myself that question. I don't think anybody's here. I feel so awful because people came on yesterday. I had about 2 people who came, and I just totally forgot. I just totally forgot because I'm human. I'm embracing my humanness. Did I forget? No, I embraced my humanness, which is actually true. I finally took a break from work, went hang out with a friend I haven't seen in a year, got to enjoy the day. Also got to enjoy all the things that frustrate me about the Bay Area, like how much it costs just to go out to a restaurant these days. I went to the Denny's. I haven't been to a Denny's in a year. I like to go to Denny's because they have biscuits and gravy for $5. Biscuits and gravy is a real Southern thing. So I like to go and have my Southern moment, you know? And my biscuits, well, there were no biscuits and gravy that got discontinued. And the meal that I normally would order that had biscuits and gravy and eggs and the hash browns, that was $5, was now $16. $16. So the meal I thought I was gonna spend maybe just $7 on, I ended up spending 20. So I had to and then my friend offered to pay for his own meal for his birthday because he knows I'm going through a hard time right now with this bankruptcy business and the scam business, in case you didn't hear about that in the previous video. But he ended up spending, I'm gonna say $60 to buy three small pieces of cake. 3 pieces of cake and a fried chicken and waffle, a special Japanese fried chicken and waffle thing. $60. I don't know. I'm having moments where I'm sitting with that, where I'm just like, I don't know. I'm looking down the barrel of my student loans. Oh, I didn't mention this. Another reason why I took a break is I got tenure. I did it. Boom. Okay, boom. I'm a tenured college professor now. Okay, that makes me associate professor, Dr. Donnie, associate professor of sociology at CSU East Bay. Okay, I did it. I accomplished the big goal of doing it. I got tenure. It happened. And so now I've come up, there was many feelings of gratitude, thankfulness, pride, sure, yes. However, because I'm also in this process of getting scammed and filing for bankruptcy, I'm dealing with a lot of feelings, conflicting feelings, hurtful feelings, difficult feelings, pain, pride, and also pain. And so it's kind of just weird how the universe lines up. Weird and beautiful, like a forest. But I'm in this space right now where really I need to learn how to grieve. I thought I knew how, but I've come to see that even when you have a success in life, you may still need to grieve. You may still need to grieve. You may still have things to grieve. And so for that reason, today, we're going to write a grief letter. We're going to learn how to grieve right now. Okay. So that's on page 48. And that's how I'm doing today. I did my best to give you a real thorough answer to that question, because that's, for the people who come to class, I always really want to know how you're doing. I really do want to know. And the class is a space to work on these difficult feelings. And part of that's putting it into words. And, we can start off with just a word: good, bad, happy, sad. And then we can build it into happy because. We can go into, we can blend feelings together, happy and, well, you can be happy and worried. You can be happy and peaceful, right? We live in a whole feelings universe. We can just bring all that together. The more words we can put to things, the more we can play with our emotional landscape. Okay. Okay, so grief and recovery. This comes from the book, The Grief Recovery Handbook by John James and Russell Friedman, which was actually written in the 70s, but was reissued in 2009. And I'm a big fan of these kind of books because it's just a short, easy read, but it got to the point real quickly. It was really wonderful. Grief is the conflicting feelings caused by the end of or change in a familiar pattern of behavior. While it is the most normal and natural thing to feel grief after a loss of any kind, it is also the most neglected and misunderstood experience, often by both grievers and those around them. This is because we are taught how to acquire things, but not taught what to do when we lose them. I really did need to read this today. Yeah, normally, I read these things and I take it in for me, but I focus on reading them for other people. But I have to be honest with all of you. This particular month, this particular series has really been about me going as deep as I can go into some of these things. What a beautiful thing. All sorts of experiences come with conflicting feelings. Sure, death, but also divorce, moving, starting school, getting tenure, marriage, holidays, financial gains and losses. Also, we could include the loss of an identity, loss of trust, loss of control, and loss of safety. Most of us are taught that grief happens in an orderly set of stages that look like this: shock, denial, anger, bargaining, depression, testing, and acceptance, the Kubler-Ross model. However, research has shown that people are often not in denial or get angry while grieving. What they do often report is reduced concentration, a sense of numbness, disrupted sleep patterns, changed eating habits, and a roller coaster of emotional energy. This has led to the conclusion that there are no stages of grief. All relationships are unique, so every grief process is unique. Or drawn out, it really looks like this. Okay, stages of grief: loss, hurt, all the way to loss adjustment, moving from hurt to adjustment. And as you can see, all these feelings can happen: shock, numbness, denial, emotional outbursts, anger, fear, searching, disorganization, panic, loneliness. And then it moves up to new relationships, new strengths, new patterns, even hope, affirmation, and helping others. And note, this person's experience can literally be absolutely all over the map. Okay, so let's go with my experience right now. Okay, so I got tenure, and that's sort of like, that was the super big success. Actually, let's go with affirmation on that. I got a big, like, yes, I got tenure. I did it. All that work, a decade of work of getting a PhD and getting a job, getting things published and teaching. It came together in recognizing me as a scholar who can get a permanent position and a pay increase. So there you go. Affirmation. But then, now that tenure's done, I spent a year applying and everything for it. And that was a year of being frustrated, and a year of worrying, and a year of wondering what would happen, and a year of coming up with my plan B. And I had one particular professor in my department who unfortunately became chair the year before, who just is completely against feelings. He thinks feelings aren't real learning, all sorts of things, like really narrow-minded like that, okay? And so for that reason, that put me into a space of kind of having to worry about some of this, when in many ways I wasn't before, but I had to deal with that person. So having to deal with all that was exhausting. It was worrying and exhausting. So, that, I don't know where that fits somewhere on here, but there's fear and searching, disorganization, panic, right? Then, I told myself, well, this is just one person. I went and reached out to other people who could support me. I discovered that most, like 90+% of the university was supporting me. And okay, so I reached out to other people. I developed new relationships, new strengths, right? I realized how many people were supporting me. That's hope. Okay. But then, it was the coronavirus, right? All I had to do, I got a letter. I had to write a rebuttal if I didn't like anything in the letter. Then, I just had to wait a whole month till another letter showed up from another department, another higher up person telling me if I was good to go or not. There was 5 letters I had to wait for over the course of a year. Okay. All those letters. Okay. Having to wait like that was very lonely. Coronavirus, no one really being around. Most of last year, was a lot of being alone, which is not the same thing as lonely, which is not the same thing, but there's an overlap. There's absolutely an overlap. And spending a lot of time alone, that's something you could put on this stages of grief chart for sure, spending a lot of time alone. Okay, so there you go. Then I was there, right? Maybe I had lots of moments when I was alone where I had no one to help me with the feelings. So I was working through my exercises. I did a lot of screaming and crying things up, and realizing, having all that time to yourself made me realize how much, and seeing the end of the process made me realize how much pain I'd been sitting on my whole life, still sitting on. So the pain finally came up to the surface, right? I started to wonder, will it always be this way? Will I ever just feel good? Well, I accomplished this thing. Now what? Well, am I good now? Am I good now? Am I finally good now? I had that feeling. Searching, a lot of searching. Okay, so as you can see, a grief process can go all over the place, all over the place. I'm talking about tenure today. But for you, it might have been, it might have been a death of a loved one. It might have been you working at the job you have right now. It might be you trying to get through school. It might be you just, you're stuck in your apartment and you can't make rent and you lost your job in the coronavirus. And, maybe your family member got sick and you just don't know what to do. Maybe you're in your car right now, right? Maybe you're living out of your car right now, right? And it's, there'd be a whole back and forth of feelings around that as well. There's a whole back and forth of feelings around a lot of the things we do in life. But I just want to point out that in this this chart here of grief, basically everything from shock all the way to re-entry troubles is basically a negative. Okay, so just note that about 2/3 of the things on this chart are a negative, are things that we probably really don't want to feel. The things we probably wouldn't really want to feel or deal with. Okay, 2/3 of this process. So that says a lot about how much we may avoid these things and how important grieving is to healing. Okay, there are no stages of grief. Every grief process is unique. You could be going through this right now. 2/3 of this is not pleasant. It's still, and yet we can see how all of this is very important. Okay, to letting ourselves feel. Grief is about a broken heart. Excuse me. Grief is about a broken heart, not a broken brain. It's about dealing with feelings, not intellectual rationalizations. Oh, I appreciate hearing that. So often when people are grieving, we say something like, don't feel bad, it'll be better next time. Don't feel bad about getting scammed. Well, you'll figure it out. It won't be so bad. You're smarter now. Okay. These statements are intellectually true, but emotionally bankrupt. In fact, our society teaches us 6 unhealthy things about grieving. Don't feel bad. Replace the loss. Grieve alone. Go be by yourself with your unpleasant feelings. Just give it time. Be strong for others. And just keep busy. All of these ideas teach us to avoid and hide our true feelings, leaving us feeling unheard, invalidated, even judged and criticized. Consequently, many grievers opt to be just left alone, or they learn how to fake it in recovery by pretending to be fine and put on a happy face. Additionally, the pain of unresolved grief is cumulative, so any future losses can re-trigger past hurtful experiences. A lifetime of unresolved grief can be absolutely debilitating. Recovery happens through a series of small and correct choices we make about our thoughts and feelings. Hey, hold on, I want to say something here. These 6 things, don't feel bad, replace the loss. Yes, they teach us to avoid and hide our true feelings. But we feel invalidated, not just because we're being strong for others. We feel invalidated because doing that can often come at a cost of focusing on what we need to do for ourselves. So really, we are the ones invalidating our feelings, right? Right? We may judge us and criticize us. So I just think it's important to note, even if you live in a world where you have sensitive, wonderful people in your life who are supportive to you, if you still believe these things and you treat yourself this way, you will feel invalidated, judged, and criticized by you. And then if you go and choose to be left alone, you socially isolate, you will continue to just feel bad because you're the one doing these unhealthy things in your life. And I'm saying you're the one, but let's just say I'm the one. I'm the one doing the unhealthy things in my life around grief. Okay. Recovery happens through a series of small and correct choices we make about our thoughts and feelings. It means acknowledging that everything you are feeling is important and perfectly understandable, and that this is part of what it takes to claim your life back. Often it means developing skills we should have learned in childhood. Recovery can happen at any time when the griever is ready to talk about and review what happened. It does not happen if you just give it time, and there is no loss that a person cannot recover from. That's good to hear. That's good to hear today. We would never tell a person who broke their leg to just give it time. The same goes for emotional pain. We must accept that while help can come from others, or we can pay someone $150 an hour, only we will know how we truly feel. So, one, start with acknowledging that all grieving is about wishing for something different, better, or more. It's fighting an acceptance of what is over what you want. And you can use the How to Let Go exercise that's in this workbook to help your ego deal with the loss. Two, only you are responsible for your feelings. We often say, "You made me angry," but in reality, things happen and we choose how we respond, which is like saying, "I reacted to what you said with anger." We may absolutely not be responsible for the past, but we must take responsibility for how we react currently if we want to take our power back and heal. Three, think about doing grieving work with someone you can trust. You can do it alone. You can do it alone if you trust you, and that's important. But since social isolation is such a big issue in grieving, it can help to reach out to friends and people you trust. Also, focus on you addressing your feelings, not reaching out to those who hurt you. They may not or may never be in a place to grieve, and it's their business. If it happens, it will happen for them in their way on their time. 4, go back to that list of 6 bad social beliefs about grief and see which ones you have believed in and question them. All responses to grief are normal and natural, no matter how wrong or crazy. Crazy behavior is a good time to question how someone is grieving. Yeah, no kidding. Finally, acknowledge that all people mean well. Acknowledge that people all mean well when they attempt to offer help to others. All of these 6 bad social beliefs can be heard as a kind way to offer healthy sympathy for people's pain. So instead of that, you could say, instead of saying don't feel bad, you could say your pain is so strong. Please also take notice of the positive things in your life. See, ain't that so much better than saying don't feel bad? That's more directive. But instead of that, you can just explain and acknowledge your pain is so strong, right? Explain, acknowledge, and then offer some more targeted help, right? More sensitive help. So instead of replace the loss, losing something hurts so much. If you get something that fills the hole, it will help with slowly working through the pain. Instead of grieve alone, it can hurt so much to discuss these feelings that you may want to prioritize taking time for yourself so you are not stuck in a triggering story. Right? Right? That makes that alone time seem sacred, instead of just go, you're banished. I don't want to deal with this. No, it's like a, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's almost holy. It's like a, like a Buddhist, like a monk going off to be by himself in the woods to find like the deeper inner truth. Maybe that's a true thing for all of us when we go off to spend our time alone, to really get in touch with our inner life. The healing journey, they call it, the healing journey. And then instead of just give it time, the suddenness of things makes everything hard to deal with. We all need time to process our feelings. Yeah, anything you're going through right now, if it can't get resolved right now, then it's going to need time and space. Time and space. Time and space are the two greatest gifts you can ever give another human being. Time and space. I thought it used to be proving you love someone, showing you love someone, but now I really think the best way to love someone is just to let go. Give them the time and space they need. That would be a way more loving thing to do. Time and space. So give me the time and space I need. would be the most loving thing I could do. Okay, everybody. So the rest of class, we are going to learn our own processes of grieving. We're going to write out our life history, focus on a particular relationship, find statements that we need to apologize or forgive, and write a grief letter. Okay. So we're going to go through each one of these. So now I'm going to just say this. If you're doing this video, watching this video, and you've never done this before, I want to recommend just following the simple directions step by step. Okay, and so I'm going to read those simple directions, and that's what you should do. Okay, but if for any reason, yeah, here we go. But if for any reason you happen to have done this before, you have a specific issue you want to work on, I'm going to give options. I'm going to give some options. Okay, I have a specific thing I'm working on around tenure, and so for that reason, that's why I'm saying this. Okay. But if that's not you, tenure wasn't your issue this week. And if, or if you don't have a specific thing, or you've never done this before, this can be very triggering. So it's important just to follow the directions, okay? So here they are. Number one is a loss history graph. Using the line below, illustrate every loss you ever had in your life. The example here has years and events, but you can just use your age. Like, for example, I wrote age 16, came out of the closet. Start with the year of your birth, or age 0, your first earliest memory, and then everything up until today. If you don't have that kind of time, or you've done this before, just focus on a part of your life. Take care of yourself. This can be triggering. Okay. Now let's see here. You know what? I'm here, and I'm doing this because I really want some help here, right? This class is to help people, right? And who really needs help today is me. So let's do this. I'm going to open, I mean, I can't type it in here, so I'm going to open a notepad file. I'm going to open a notepad file. Keep it simple. I highly recommend writing these things down though, because you can, the actual process of writing does all sorts of things with your brain. You know, research has shown that. Let me share. Let me share my notepad file. Okay. Okay, so like I said, you're free to just put your own history, everything that happened to you for this lost history graph. I, in particular, am focusing on tenure, which I guess would mean school. So I'm gonna focus on everything that's happened to me around school, okay? So here we go. So here we go. What's coming up for me? Well, one thing that's coming up at 5, I started school, started kindergarten. Oh, you know, when I was like, I'm gonna say 8, I was put into gifted and talented program. So thankful that happened. You know, this said loss, but we're gonna just for the I'm just gonna put everything. I'm just gonna put everything I can remember. You know what? I'm gonna put everything I can remember. Okay, so I can remember when I was 5. Also, maybe I was 6 by then. I can remember I can remember an adult wouldn't let me go to the bathroom. And I peed on myself. And how embarrassing that was. I remember that. And I have to say, I've said this to several people. I'm not alone in having had that experience. And when I was 7 at school, I hung out with a group of girls, and they shunned me for being a guy. We don't play with boys. I remember that happened too. I was very upset that day. I lost my friendship group, boom, all of a sudden. And then I got told to hang out with the guy. And then me and that guy were friends for many years, but not that deep. But we were friends. I kind of wonder what happened to him, really, because I've never seen him again. I've run into lots of people coming from a tiny town, but not him. Makes you wonder. Anywho, 8, put into the Gifted and Talented program. What else do I remember from school? What's coming up right now? Well, to be quite honest with you, I'm going to say from about the time I was 9 till 13, mostly a blur or repressed. I remember very little. I remember middle school. I remember middle school, good grades. When I was when I was maybe 12, I remember all my white friends started hanging together. Or really, actually, when I was 12, I realized suddenly all my Black friends started saying, I don't belong with those people. Segregation or acknowledgement. Acknowledgement. Hold on. Acknowledgement of racism. What else do I remember? Oh, well, 14, started high school, realized I was gay, tried to swallow a bottle of aspirin and a pint of whiskey. Well, suicide. Let's go with that. I recognize this, like I said, this could be very triggering. And I said that. I did say that. So here we go. We're going to continue down the rabbit hole here. This is why this is an advanced class, okay? I recognize you're just popping on this video out of the blue. You know, this might be a bit much. So just please take care. Whatever your experience is and whatever you're writing down right now, okay? Needless to say, I feel like at 39, and now that I got tenure, and that I brought this up a million times over, I can kind of bring up my suicides pretty easily now, okay? It doesn't hurt as much. It still hurts. It still hurts. It just doesn't hurt as much, okay? And I can honor that pain. I can make peace. I've did a lot to make peace with it, okay? Okay, and I'm alive, and that's the most important part. Well, I should just say mostly a blur are middle school good grades, but I mostly remember feeling really disconnected, afraid to speak the truth about me being queer. Yeah. To even myself. Okay, 14. And then I would say around 15, I realized that my environment helped to make me so depressed and suicidal. Being from a super conservative Southern Christian town taught me, and family taught me to hate myself. And yeah, taught me to hate myself. Let's just go with that. Boom. Now that's funny because it started off at school, but now it's turning into all this stuff. But it's all school related. And of course, at 16, I came out to my family and was called a waste of a human being. That happened too. My mom called me a waste of a human being. Never really, and has never really apologized, even acknowledged she said it. Decided to, hold up. Let me add a few things. Let's go to at 15, let's say, was told by parents, I have to become a doctor or a lawyer. That's it. Yeah. And actually, at 5, I was told I had to have a career and that I had to be good at it. Wanted to be a ballerina and ice skater. somewhere around here, around 8, I decided I wanted to become an astronaut. Okay. Told I had to become a 14. Taught myself to play the piano by skipping lunch and recess. That happened as well. I have 2 degrees, a bachelor's and a master's in music, because I did that. Where's my keyboards? Right here, by the way. Okay. Okay. This now at 16, decided to honor my truth and study music. And then at 17, I got a full scholarship to college, to Loyola University, New Orleans. And then I went off to college. Now, let's see. Now, needless to say, that was a lot. I went from 5 to 17 and I got all that. How much further do I? Well, let's see. Let's see how far this goes then. Part of me wanted to stop there, but no. This is for you, Donovan. This is for you, Dr. Donnie. Okay, I got you. Here we go. 17, got a full scholarship to college. 18, moved to New Orleans. Started practicing piano for 5 hours a day. And learning German. I did a lot of things. Constantly busy every day. Constantly busy every day. Did some socializing, going to bars, meeting people. Did I go to bars at 18? Yeah, in New Orleans. I'm pretty sure I did. Yeah. Going to bars, some socializing, going to bars. That's not really coming up as a big deal. Let me see. Oh, another one was school. Went to a private, predominantly white school. Discovered the world was way more racist than I ever thought. Started studying civil rights movement and got into psychology. War in Iraq happened. Went political and vegan. Decided not to become a musician because of all this and focus on social science. Now let's see if I can let's go. here. We could put this at about 20. I was at the age of 20 there. Okay, and then at 21, graduated. Oh, at 21, decided to leave the US because George Bush won second election. Who got into music psychology program in Toronto, Canada, U of T, University of Toronto. Let's see. So from 21 to 23. Well, okay. Let's see. Now there's some things I had to add that might be a little. I don't know how I feel about the whole world knowing some of these things. So I may have to. I think I'm going to have one moment here. How can I do this in a sensitive way? Well, for your purposes, for the purposes of this video, I'll just say 22. Something happened. I'll put something happened. It was hard. Major depressed. Considered suicide again. Decided, pulled myself out of it. Pulled myself out of it. Then Grandpa died. Oh, Hurricane Katrina happened. A month after I left town. And I discovered I hated grad school because I wasn't really interested in talking about music. I wanted to talk about social issues. Yeah. Okay. So then at 23, got my MA, decided to investigate sociology. Well, actually, got my MA, couldn't get a job in Canada, moved back home with parents, became a tour guide at a plantation house. Okay. Okay. I did that for 2 years. 25, went to LSU, Louisiana State University, to get my PhD in sociology. Yeah, I realized sociology was the thing I liked better, and I decided to go back to get my PhD in sociology. Began constantly. Oh, you know what? I skipped something. Became a tour guide at a plantation. Did a bunch of communing, connecting with nature, watching movies, learning about Louisiana history. Yeah, oh my God. Learning about Louisiana history and slavery and race. Okay. Began constantly working. A few more things happened. Learned how to paint. and juggle. That happened as well. Began constantly, so at 25, get my PhD, began constantly working on classwork. And constantly working on classwork, finding a project for my dissertation, working weekends, always working weekends. Grew mushrooms, grew magic mushrooms for a little while. That did happen too. Always working weekends. Yeah, just non-stop working. Non-stop working. Was broke. Always with little money. Always with little money. So then at 20, let's go with 27, got on food stamps. Worked from home so I could move from Baton Rouge, where LSU is, to New Orleans, which was much more fun. Worked constantly while living in the hood and hearing gunshots and 7 murders that happened a block away from my house. Okay, I remember that. That was some rough. That was something. That sure was something. Then 29, or I guess we could go with 30. Got my PhD. Got a job in Arkansas. Had to move to Arkansas, where I knew nobody. Turned out my uncle was the college football coach of the university. But he constantly avoided even hanging out with me. Maybe he was gay. He was secretly gay. Don't know. Don't know. Made me really mad, though, I can tell you that. Okay, and then 31. Oh, I also didn't get that job. Don't know. Didn't. It was a 1-year position. Didn't get the permanent job because of homophobia. Then 31, got another job in New Jersey. Fell in love. Relationship ended. Was by myself in the cold for a year. Went to the beach a lot and watched a lot of HBO. Taught myself how to cry. And then at 32, got a job in the Bay Area. Whew, Lord, what a history. Got a job in the Bay Area, moved here, and then worked, healed, family stuff, gender stuff, family stuff, gender stuff. Now Corona, and boom, tenure. Okay, kind of flubbed it toward the end there, but you get the point. I felt a lot of feelings come to the surface here. Okay, so as you can see, this is my list of the things that happened to me. And so, you know, I put this down and it took me maybe 20, 30 minutes to do all this, I guess. But, you know, you could spend easily, as you can see, this could be a week. You could take a whole week to write out your life history here, right? You may have never if you've never done this before, you may have never bothered to take the time out to really write it all down, to see all the things you really went through. Okay, so that can be very useful. That's kind of why I did it also, because I think it's just, I'm seeing, this is, if, you know, if I start talking about my history, look at what shows up, right? This is all the stuff that's going on in the back of the brain. Okay, so now number 2. Let's see, hold on. So this is pretty extensive. So let's just take a moment. This says, take 1 or 2 of your experiences and write it out in detail below. Okay, so I'm just gonna take a moment, just something I want to write down here. From what I'm seeing, school has been a place of support, but also major frustration. You take it really seriously, built your career on it. You have worked at school constantly, both as student and teacher. You have moved to areas of the world you had never been before for school, which means jobs. So school jobs, school and jobs. You have minimized or suppressed major pain, life events, such as death, accepting your sexuality, your gender and sexuality around school, by using school. I minimize or suppress major pain, life events such as death, accepting your gender, sexuality by using school as a coping mechanism. Just letting this come up. Just let it all come up. School sounds like the real relationship, the real partner. Partner. More than any human partner you have had. You are willing to commit a shit ton, a lot, for school. Okay, That's what came up for me, so I wrote that down. Why don't we let's just take 2 minutes. I'm gonna go and get some water or refill this, put some bubbles in it. 2 minutes. Whatever you're feeling, just honor what you're feeling. That's what I'll do. This will be my 2-minute like walk of honoring my feelings. Okay, slow walk. Oh, I cannot stress enough the importance of fizzy water. Okay. you ever meet me one day and invite me over to your house, I'll drink anything. I'll drink anything. But if you really want to know what I think, I love fizzy water. So, what's coming up for me right now is people, when they get near retirement, they talk about how I spent 40 years working for this company. And, these days that's rare. So, but these days it's much more common to hear, I spent 40 years with this company and they're firing me and they're screwing me over, you know? But even that statement, I spent 40 years here, that amount of time, the emotional weight of that amount of time, the gravitas of what that means, that I spent 40 years of my life here, You could say I spent 40 years of my life at a place, at a job called school. I signed the paperwork when I was 5, and I'm 39 now, so that would be 34 years. But I've been working for this company called school for 34 years. And maybe that's not exactly what it's like, because I'm not 60, so I'm just guessing here. But I have to imagine it'd have to be similar to that. You've just been working there for so long, so much of your life. I suppose I don't feel like I'm nearing the end of my life right now. I mean, I'm 40. I'm nearing the end of my young life. I don't necessarily feel like I'm at the end of my life, period. But I mean, who knows? As a Black man, especially in this country, who the hell knows? But the gravitas, that's it. The gravitas of this thing, the weight of it. I've spent 34 years at a career. Okay, let's keep going. This is a feelings thing, but there's going to be time for a little more feelings. It's coming. Feelings time is coming. Our time to really kind of just sit and let it all stew up to the surface. We're getting there. So the next part is a relationship graph, and I'm just going to read let's see, maybe I could do this. Let me do this. Here we go. So it says here you get to dig deep and get honest about a particular moment you need to grieve. First, for the experience you wrote in detail, illustrate every important moment in your relationship with that person, including any feelings after they died or the event that happened. Put positive things above the line and negative things below. Note all of your hopes, dreams, and expectations that went along with each event. Okay. So I'm going to do, for me, this is going to be my relationship with school. And then, I got a whole bunch of things here. I kind of just want to focus on really some positives and negatives. So, 5, eager to be in school. I also felt major hurt. Eager to be in school and learn. Two things I remember about kindergarten was we had a pet snake that played with me, that really liked me. And in Louisiana, we have king cake, in case you don't know what that is, but it's like a traditional, it's like a big ring, a big donut, big donut with frosting on it. And you put a plastic baby inside of it, and whoever gets the piece with the baby has to buy the next king cake. That's the tradition. I should also say the tradition is also to always put a white baby in the king cake also, but that's a whole other thing that someone brought up at one point to me, that you rarely ever get a black baby in the king cake, or never. But but I got the baby. I got the king cake baby. In kindergarten. I was really happy about that. But I was also majorly hurt. My teacher wouldn't let me go to the bathroom, and hard time making friends. Walked around a lot and observed. Observed people. Good at school. Actually, we can keep going here. But let's say I was 6. Let's go at 7. Good at school. Lots of appreciation from others. Put in gifted and talented. And I could also put at 4. Mom taught me how to read and write. It was the only time she played with me, which is what I remember. I can remember I don't have any memories of my parents actually playing with me, grabbing a toy, nothing. But I can vividly remember, learning cursive, learning to write. My mom read to me every night. Read to me every night. I wonder though, I often wonder how many kids today have a parent who reads to them every night. I hope kids still get moms and dads who read to them, or one parent who reads to them. Something tells me that probably doesn't happen that much these days. Okay, around 7, so let's go with 8. Began to hate school. Felt just so different from everybody. Everybody. Loved, gifted, talented, but thought school was a boring chore. Glad that I did well. Glad that I did well. Excuse me. Was seen as a really good student. And then, yeah, I'd say around 9, told myself that all my difference was just a phase, that it would go away. I got more and more depressed and suicidal. Still had great grades. Man. Can't remember a lot of this. I can remember being about 12 and kind of a blur. I remember I remember feeling like I don't fit in anywhere. I made friends with popular kids. Thought they were superficial. And dumb. Well, I thought they were superficial. So I just gave up on hanging with anybody. Loner. And then high school, made friends with a loner group, loner misfit group. How did I feel about school at that time? School was a super unsafe place. Felt like at any time I might be harassed for being different. It never happened. Just comments far away because I was such a top scholar. But I lived with the fear of it happening all the damn time. Constant, chronic fear with no one else to talk to about it or even acknowledge that I had a right to be afraid because I couldn't even acknowledge I was queer. Okay, well, anyway, keep going. 18 went to college. How did I feel about school? College was my chance to learn and do and grow and be everything I ever wanted. I took advantage of a ton of opportunities. Went to Europe twice. learned 3 different languages. And music and psychology. Got to learn more about me by living in New Orleans. Way more open and gay friendly. Although still not like, perfect there, but way more so. Like a possibility. There's a possibility to have an open gay life in New Orleans, whereas that was not the case in the other place where I grew up. Relationship with school. School was everything. The road to a good job, and I knew I was on my own to figure it out, and that I had to be successful. Like no matter what. So then at 20, working, killing myself to be a successful musician. And I had a huge crash and decided to focus on social issues. School allowed me to do that. Okay, and then like I said, 23, grad school in Canada. I feel international now. I hadn't planned on coming back to the US, but then did only because I couldn't stand the cold weather. Okay, I don't know why, but something in my spirit is like we're hitting a saturation point here. So I'm just gonna stop here, okay? Whatever's bugging me must be somewhere in this. Okay, so then the next section is to break this down into things to apologize for, things that need forgiveness, and other significant emotional statements. Because the fourth part is to write a grief recovery completion letter. I think we're just gonna go ahead and do this right now. My heart's like, all right, it's time. So this letter is a short response to what you have been feeling so that you can complete the feelings. It's not a farewell letter or even a forgiveness letter for the other person. It's more of an apology letter for you to complete the sense of closure you need so you can heal. Oh, that sounds good. It can be written from you to another person or from another person to you. Writing the apology of the people who harmed you can be very liberating. Like all of this, focus on your feelings and your heart, even if things seem silly or awkward in your mind. And then the example here is, dear person's name. Dear, I'm going to give an example here really quickly. Oh man. Oh, so many things are coming. Dear computer. As your owner, I have been reviewing our relationship and I have discovered something I want to say. I apologize for leaving you on every single day, constantly overworking you with 20 different windows being open. I apologize for not taking the time to clean you regularly. Dirty screen. not taking the time to give you an update or send you back for being checked on. I forgive you. I forgive you for malfunctioning 2 years into service. I forgive you. I forgive you for costing so much money. I forgive you for the shitty extra accessories you come with, this really crappy little keyboard, and I forgive you. I want you to know that I've done the best I can to work with you. I want you to know that I've taken out my anger and my aggression on your keyboard, and it wasn't your fault. Okay. I appreciate you so much. I love you. I have to go. I'm ready to let go of this hurt. Some kind of closing. Goodbye. Okay, so as you can see, even with the computer, I can still pull up some kind of feelings here, right? Okay, so now that was a funny example. That was kind of a more lighthearted example, but we're gonna do this for the issue I'm talking about right now. So as you can see, look how much stuff I have here, right? I can now use all that to then write the letter I'm going to write. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Since I went through the process and talked it all through, why don't I'm going to put on maybe a little bit of music, and then give me 10 minutes, and then I will put down the music, and then I will read the letter I wrote, and then have some closing statements. Okay. Oh, oh, oh. I should subject you all to listening to Carl Rogers, because he's really wonderful. But let's maybe not do that today. I'll put some music on, and in 10 minutes we will revisit this. Okay, so just allow wherever you're going. If you're listening to this, just let yourself just go wherever you're going in your process. Go wherever you're going in your process, and check and come back in 10 minutes. Okay. And if you're sticking through the whole thing, just know there's going to be 10 minutes of some lovely wind chimey music. Some lovely wind chimey music. And some lovely wind chimey music. And yeah, just let it. Just we will come back in 10 minutes to discuss things. Ooh, let's try this. And actually, I can even just put that so you can listen to the sound. I'll click on that too. Okay, that music is kind of odd, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, it's alpha waves. Alpha waves. Hopefully those alpha waves did what they needed to do in your brain. Okay, so here is my grief letter. Now I'm gonna say I was writing this out and I let it flow. A lot of things came up, things I said that I didn't think I would say. But needless to say, in this exercise, if you wanted to, you could easily spend. If you wanted to, you could easily spend, you know, a whole day writing out a letter like this, right? You could spend a whole day writing a letter like this and just get started. Okay. And so, and that's the whole point of this grieving thing. The grieving continues, obviously, but it's this is to help you really get to a place where a lot of it comes up and can let go. Okay. So sometimes it's gonna look different than you think it should look. Okay, so here's my grief letter about school. Dear school, as a person who has been working at school for 34 years of my life, as someone who has given so much of themselves to be in school and succeed at school, I have some things I want to say. I apologize for being so depressed and suicidal from years of not knowing how to accept myself. I kept waiting for you to make things better, but that rarely happened. And it couldn't have happened because not until I could accept myself did the support I needed showed up. And until then, I drove myself crazy with stress and trying to succeed. I apologize to me for that as well. I apologize for setting up so many high standards for you to accomplish. I can see that this taught me that the big things, the big projects matter, but it didn't teach me to really value the everyday moments, the day-to-day moments that are essential to make those big moments happen. I'm sorry I just never took the time to say, I'm sorry for how tough school was on me, how tough life was on me. I'm sorry I never took the time to say how tough I was on me. I can see that I wasn't helping myself by doing that. I forgive you for not being as kind or supportive or even as educated as you should have been. You didn't teach me how to understand my sexuality when you could have. I still hold resentment against you for this. And while I can't forgive you, I can definitely forgive myself for holding on to this resentment for so long. Oh man, I forgive me. Oh, forgive me for thinking that just getting yet another accomplishment would solve or fix any of my deeper issues. I forgive me for covering up my pain, hurt, and fears with nice trophies and prestigious university degrees. Oh, oh, okay. I want you to know that I think you are awesome. I am just so crazy beyond thankful for the time that I have spent in school. I am so grateful for the wonderful teachers who have inspired me, the kind friends I have made over the years, and I am thankful for many of the challenges that I have overcome. I also want you to know that I am disappointed that my life is not just good yet, that I still have pain and trauma from my childhood still coming up. And I now have to think about, what do I do now? Or that I have to continue no longer having this as a goal, the loss of no longer having this as a goal. I want you to know that my life is so much more precious than just moving from goalpost to goalpost. That's not winning in life. I want to be happy. And happy may mean failing, but being thankful. Or succeeding and then sharing that success with others. Or happy can mean all sorts of different things, but it doesn't mean having to get accomplishments and succeeding at school. Oh, oh, gosh. Oh, wow. I love you so much. I know you would want the absolute best for me so that I can continue to be a productive scholar, teacher, and person. I know you're not going anywhere, but I will continue to grow both at school and in life so that I can be at peace with my life, bring joy into my life. Thank you. Goodbye. Dr. Donnie, Associate Professor, June 13th, 2020. Okay. So as you can see, just even reading that, that went to some places I thought it would go and other places I didn't. Just reading the words out loud, I mean, the typing them had one effect on me, but reading them out loud, woo, really is bringing up all this underlying stress that's been probably sitting there my whole life. Oh, oh, okay. Wow. So that's how this works. That's how this works. Hmm. Take your time and let your process unfold for you how it unfolds. Oh. And that's how to write a grief letter. Ooh. And that's how to write a grief letter. And that is grieving. That is how to grieve. And I just want to say, I'm somebody who does these exercises regularly, and even I still need help with this. Even I still need help with this. Feelings are hard. Okay. So if you have problems, if you need help, if you'd like some support with your feelings, feel free to come to class. And I just want to, again, just super apologize for forgetting class yesterday. And if anybody ever needs, if I'm ever not there for any reason, you did the right thing by hitting me up, reaching out. I love it when people hit me up and reach me out. I think it's great. Also, soon I'm going to implement talk time with Dr. Donnie, which will not be teaching time. It will be just free time for people to come and talk about their feelings. So I look forward to that as well. Okay, that being said, everyone, good luck with your thoughts and feelings. Good luck with your inner life. If any of this helped you at all, consider leaving a donation. The biggest donation you can leave is just to take this information and really use it in your inner life and really use it to help others. But, if it moves you in any way to leave a couple of bucks, anything you leave will go to help further this work, which I'm in the process of getting published. Okay. At either rate, giving is receiving. So please allow yourself to receive as much as you can of the blessings of this work and use it to help other people as well. Because it's so hard to deal with our feelings. Okay. Okay. So with that, have a nice day. Have a nice weekend. Have a nice week. And I will see you next week. And I'm going to go eat a salad and process these feelings.